Hello everyone. I just wanted to do a quick collective check-in. I'm noticing that our collective energy is really all over the place right now. Like there is no real consistency in what people are feeling. So I am noticing some people are extremely triggered right now. Some people are feeling pretty peaceful. Some, are kind of like on this new heart healing journey, and others are just ready to jump into something new and manifest their best life. So this is going to be an interesting read. I'm going to use two different tarot decks, my Tarot in Wonderland deck that was gifted to me, and I'm going to use my original Rider-Waite. So let's go ahead and have a look. What is coming through for you guys today? We have the Four of Swords. So there are a lot of people that are kind of in need of rest and rejuvenation. I'm hearing go, go, go. So maybe some of you have really been not taking enough time to rest, to recover your energy. And you could be experiencing emotional highs and lows, like emotional instability as a result of that. So for some reason, my particular collective lately has just been getting this recurring message of chamomile tea. I don't know what it is with that, but yeah, here's that rush, go, go, go lifestyle that is wanting to kind of come to a resting point at this time so that you can rejuvenate and get back to your normal self. Here we have the Ten of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and I'm really hearing that, to seek that emotional fulfillment now within yourself rather than externally. And I feel like many divine masculines are also struggling with this right now in the collective. Some of them are really just, like throwing themselves into work full-fledged, and they're not getting the time that they need to sort through things, to even think about love right now. They have their divine feminine on their mind, but their guidance is to tune back into their feminine energy, to tune back into that emotional part of themselves and not shut it out, because I'm really seeing that it's taking a negative toll on them. Right now they are in this, King of Wands, fiery, passionate energy about, I'm hearing go-getter. I heard Spirit say go-getter. So they're being guided to, yes, be a go-getter, but also don't forget to rejuvenate your soul. They have so many opportunities that they could potentially miss if they don't lift their head up from whatever it is that's keeping them so occupied, which for most of this collective that I'm channeling, it feels like it's work. So I also just heard Spirit say emotional burdens. There might be a lot of emotional burdens in the masculine collective right now that they're struggling with finding the balance for. They're struggling with finding their rhythm. They're not feeling that abundance within themselves. They're not feeling that ability to be independent of their work life right now, because like I'm seeing somebody that's trying to ride a horse that hasn't fully been broken, and it's kind of a scary experience. It's a pretty scary experience, right? And I feel like that is where the masculines are at in their headspace right now, where they feel like work is pretty much the only thing going for them and the only string that they have to latch on to in order to build a future and a life that they desire with their feminine. So Spirit is really guiding them here. Like this is guidance down here to, that they will not be able to perform their best if they are so mentally exhausted all the time, if they don't take time to recover their energy and to go within. Wheel of Fortune. So things are shifting here, and shifts can take place. My candle is in a really awkward spot, so I can't. Let me shift it a little bit. There you go. What was I saying? anyways, shifts take place in increments, right? We can see cycles closing out that close out in increments. It doesn't all close out at the same time. And I think it would be really chaotic and really difficult to rebalance ourselves if they did do that. So when we see, like completion coming through or a cycle closing out, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight or like the entire cycle is closed out right away. That means a portion of that cycle or the sub-cycles that are within it are coming to a close. And here we got the 8 of Pentacles, confirming that yes, work is exactly where the masculine's headspace has been, to the point where their heart chakra has been ignored, not blocked, but simply ignored. And they're being guided to tune back into that for their own well-being and their health. We have the Star card at the bottom of the deck signifying healing and the potential for wishes to come true here if they would listen to the emotional side of themselves. If they would allow their feminine energy to speak and shine through, there is so much waiting for them. All of this anxiety and the feeling of, unknown that they're struggling with is going to heal itself. It's going to go away. We're going to pull one final card here. See the Queen of Cups. This card came out with 2 energies. One is, yes, the divine feminine, but also the feminine energy within the masculine himself that is really calling for his attention, that is really calling for him to be able to nurture himself the way that he wishes to nurture his feminine in the future, because self-love is important for both parties. And masculines struggle with it just as much as feminines do. So that is their check-in. Here we have the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and this really signifies a strong sense of loyalty to his divine feminine. Like, I'm hearing a masculine step in to say, everything I do for you. That sounded really poetic. And it's true. That is the energy coming through here. So if you know that your masculine has really been hyper fixated on work and not paying attention to himself, and if you are not in a no contact situation, then you can feel free to say to him, make sure that you're taking care of yourself too, because work is important, but work is not everything. You can't work if you don't have your health. So let's have a look at what is going on for the corresponding feminines in this collective. Where is the feminine head and heart space at? 5 of Wands, inner conflict is the first thing I heard when that came out. Some feminines are really getting frustrated here with this weight, this ongoing weight. Yeah, we have the 8 of Swords, and as soon as this card came out, I heard a feminine say, I can't see when or how this is ever going to happen. It's almost like this collective of feminines that I'm channeling, they're starting to question the reality of this journey. Like, I've been on this for so long and I have not, I feel like we haven't made any progress in the 3D. I've made all kinds of progress in the 5D. I've made all kinds of progress in my individual life. But what is happening with this connection? I can't see it. And I also feel so restrained that I cannot, reach out to my masculine and say, hey, come on, hurry up. Like, there's so many restrictions around me. This is how this feminine is feeling. And that feeling is very valid because she has been waiting for a long time. We have the Devil here at the bottom of the deck, which really speaks to how this feminine feels like this waiting period. This clock back here is really like screaming to me that this waiting period might just never end. And she's terrified of that because she feels like her life is passing her by. And she's wanting to do things with her masculine. She has dreams and goals that she wants to accomplish with her person, and she's wondering if she's ever going to be able to do that. She has the same goal in mind. Here's the Ace of Pentacles, to have that long-term stability, the deep roots in the ground that will make this connection and the life that the masculine and the feminine build together last, because they both are on the same page and desire the same thing. Here we have the Three of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So not only is this a card of celebrations, but in this context it's really speaking to me about third-party interferences, even if they're not romantic. Like we saw earlier, for some it could just be work, and that mindset of needing to only focus on that and build and stabilize in order to have any type of forward movement. But without the proper communication, it's really going to be difficult to see any kind of progress. And this is something that the masculines realize, but I think they're unaware of how to go about it. Like, they can't find the balance of, if this specific collective might not be in contact, because the message that just came through is a masculine thinking to himself that if I reach out to my feminine when I'm not fully ready for, giving her the life that she deserves and potentially desires, then am I going to look foolish? Am I going to look stupid? Is it a good idea? Am I going to, mess it up for my, for her or for myself if I reach out in that type of state, where he feels like he has to have all of his ducks in a row before he makes any kind of movement, not realizing that the feminine doesn't expect that. She is desiring to be able to work with him. She doesn't expect him to know everything right off the bat and just come in prepared and say, hey, let's build a life together. The feminine obviously has more of an understanding than that, but the masculine, for whatever reason, seems to be stuck in that headspace of, no, everything has to be in order, everything has to be perfect before I reach out. And that's what is, that's the block that he has to overcome. Here we have the world cycle completion, right? And the feminines are also completing a cycle of, I just heard Spirit say, a cycle of patience. And this truly has been a journey of patience, which the feminine is simply losing. There's no other way to describe it or explain it. So I'm getting the sense that for some in the collective, right when they start to give up and move forward, that's when their masculine kind of surprises them out of the blue. That's when they come out and suddenly make contact that was not expected here. See, you guys? We have the Nine of Wands and the Six of Swords. How synchronistic. The Nine of Wands speaks to the distance that is there right now, and here the Six of Swords speaks to forward movement. And notice how there's so much blue in this card, and I said out of the blue earlier. So that is really an emphasis on the fact that the timeline for this specific collective really cannot be predicted, because the energies support movement at any time. Like, what I'm really feeling here is this literally could take place at any time, and it will be most likely when you least expect it. See, Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck right after the Six of Swords. There's movement towards what? A renewal, bringing this connection back together and reigniting that flame between the counterparts. So this is very synchronistic energy, and it makes a lot of sense because it's typical in divinely guided and protected connections that you can't really predict time frames as accurately, because there's so much going on behind the scenes that we can't see, that isn't revealed. And when that's the case, that is the universe's way of asking you to simply trust. The universe has your best interest at heart, so just trust that what's meant for you is going to come to you. Page of Pentacles, once again. Both masculine and feminine are extremely loyal to one another. They're not looking to ignite sparks with anyone else, anywhere else. In fact, they really can't even feel that spark anywhere else. We have the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which also came out for the masculine headspace. The feminines in their heart space are always in the Queen of Cups energy, ready to take back and nurture their masculine and help them however they can. But here we have the High Priestess, you know, signaling that there is a lot that's unknown. And right now, it really feels like this collective that I'm channeling is at that point in their journey where not a lot can be seen for what's coming. You are at that point where it's going to be very difficult to predict any kind of timeline. You can possibly predict the type of movement, but I do get the sense that that energy is so incredibly fluid still that even if it may have been true at the time of that prediction, that can really rapidly and suddenly change at any time. So, like, I'm seeing the words trust in my third eye in like this big billboard type setting. And you know, it's kind of like flashing, and it's huge. It's really, really big. So this is the message that Spirit really wants to get across here, is just trust now. Don't try to see what's coming. Don't try to look too far ahead. Just stay focused in the present moment, because you can't see. You can't see what's coming. You don't know the divine's plan, and you're not supposed to. This is supposed to take you by surprise. Here we have the Emperor, guys, the divine masculine stepping into his full Emperor energy, but the High Priestess is hiding when that's going to happen. Underneath that, we had the Fool taking that leap of faith. But again, timelines are really, really hard to feel out for this situation. King of Wands, once again, from King of Wands to Emperor, this is the transformation that's taking place for the masculines that the feminines are feeling in their heart space. The feminine can genuinely feel the cycle completion of this go, go, go energy into a family man, father figure, husband figure. This is the cycle that is happening for the masculines and that the feminines are intuitively picking up on and feeling. There is a sense of excitement, a sense of, you know, joy almost about the unknown, because intuitively the feminine does know that something has to happen. Like, this is a fated connection. There has to be movement. There's going to be movement, but it's just really difficult to accept the concept of we can't see when, and it really could happen at any time. But time is fluid, right? So even if it seems really imminent, that doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, but that also means that the wait is getting shorter. Every day you are a step closer. You have to look at it that way. In fact, every moment you are a step closer to this union, because that's where you're headed, right? And time only moves forward. It doesn't move back. So every moment, every second that passes is a second, a moment closer to union. So I hope that helps you guys. I know this message was really kind of nebulous, because I think now we're at that phase where we can't see it. So, but the fact that we're at this phase tells us we're so close. So I hope that gives you some sort of light at the end of this tunnel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for stopping by. Do check out my video description box for all the information about where you can find me on Instagram and book personal readings with me by my manifestation affirmations and all of that. So I do hope to see you there as well. I do post daily messages and readings on Instagram. So, but if not, I will definitely see you again here in the next reading. Take care, guys.